Big news in golf today. PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan and player members have announced a new agreement they say ensures the tour will live up to its mission of being a, quote, player-driven organization. Arguably the biggest piece of news from the agreement, Tiger Woods has agreed to join the tour's policy board as a sixth player director. And of significance as well, the board will now be made up of 6 player directors and 5 independent directors. This from Woods. I am honored to represent the players of the PGA Tour. This is a critical point for the tour, and the players will do their best to make certain that any changes that are made in tour operations are in the best interest of all tour stakeholders, including fans, sponsors, and players. The players thank Commissioner Monahan for agreeing to address our concerns, and we look forward to being at the table with him to make the right decisions for the future of the game that we all love. The last line here would seem to be particularly significant. Woods says he, Monahan, has my confidence moving forward with these changes. This from Commissioner Monahan. Tiger's voice and leadership throughout his career have contributed immeasurably to the success of the PGA Tour, and to apply both to our governance and go-forward plan at this crucial time is even more welcomed and impactful. I am committed to taking the necessary steps to restore any lost trust or confidence that occurred as a result of the surprise announcement of our framework agreement. My job in the negotiations in partnership with our player directors, PAC, and the broader membership is to advocate for what is best for the PGA Tour members today and in the future. Any agreement we reach must be shaped by our members' input and approval earned through our player directors. Okay, so a lot to digest there. Jimmy Roberts here. We welcome you to Golf Central. Let's head right down to Todd Lewis to, as always, fill us in on the blanks. He's at the Wyndham Championship in North Carolina, the tour's final regular season event. Todd, big news today. Take it away.
Yeah, huge news. As a matter of fact, this has been percolating for the last few days. Who initiated the idea of putting Tiger Woods on the PGA Tour Policy Board? Well, that was Tiger Woods himself. He presented that idea to Commissioner Jay Monahan and executives of the PGA Tour. They were able to work out to put an agreement to put Tiger on that policy board. 2 days ago, Tiger Woods called a meeting with the Player Advisory Council and the other sitting members of the PGA Tour Policy Board to announce that he is going to be a part of the policy board, and it was a unanimous thumbs up by those in that meeting. Tiger, like many other players on the PGA Tour, were upset in regards to the announcement from the PGA Tour that they have a framework agreement with the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. Why was Tiger and others on tour upset? Because that agreement was made without any PGA Tour player input. Well, now, by this agreement, there will be input, especially from the biggest name in the game, Tiger Woods. Now, there are several PGA Tour Policy Board members in the field here at the Wyndham Championship. We caught up with them to get their response.
Man, I think it instills a lot of confidence in all the players, knowing that, you know, the greatest player in the game still wants to be involved, still has you know, some thoughts as to how the PGA Tour can continue to be the best place to play in the world. I'm thrilled to death that he's coming on board. I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot from him. He's been around for a long time and can offer a lot of wisdom to us. And it's great that he's still involved in the game, even to that level. So I'm excited that he's coming on.
Everyone in the room at these board meetings, particularly on the independent side, is incredibly intelligent, has a broad range of experience. Everyone in that room is going to know the influence and the importance that Tiger Woods has had in the game of golf. And so when he has a perspective, it is obviously going to be powerful. And you know, the biggest thing is obviously Tiger is who he is to our sport. He's, you know, you can use any cliche you want, but he is the one that commands the attention of our fans, of our sponsors, of everyone. So ultimately having him in the room is going to be super important for that reason. But also the other thing that this does is it always tips the balance on the board in the players' favor. And you know, for the most part, the independent directors are always working for what's best for the players as well. And I think we all trust that.
I think the tour's been working hard for a few years on transparency, obviously. through the framework agreement. It wasn't ideal, but I think it's great that our top players want to be part of the decision making, want to be part of the board, and that's the direction we're going. Tiger Woods, Adam Scott coming in next year, Patrick Cantley, Jordan Spieth prior. It's great to see our top players, our future players of the PGA Tour, want to be part of the decision making.
Yeah, I think that was a bold and really impressive commitment on his part to want to be a part of the governance and to ask for and demand transparency of what's been happening, but also what's going to happen. Clearly, he wants to be involved and be a part of this, which I think is awesome. Clearly, he's the face of our game for the last 20 years, and for him to still be this involved and still wanting to represent us and our fans and our sponsors, and mostly the future generations of the game, I think is very honorable.
It means a lot. I think it's very clear where the game of golf is and where it's headed. It's important to him. I think it's whether he's been vocal about it or not. I think he has some, but when Arnold and Jack kind of passed the torch to him, that's not something that he takes lightly, and it's very important to have the betterment of the entire membership and the game of golf and the PGA Tour to have that thought first and think of the best possibilities. And I don't think there's anybody else I'd want speaking on my behalf and the rest of the guys.
Now, Tiger Woods has never been a part of the PGA Tour Policy Board in his career. He's never been a part of the Player Advisory Council. So this is the first opportunity for him to officially be a part of the governance of the PGA Tour. And in regards to the membership here, they are very excited that the greatest player of this generation is going to be on that policy board. So hats off to Tiger for trying to make his mark in moving the game forward on the PGA Tour and on the world stage. But also a hats off to Jay Monahan, who is trying to rebuild the trust out here that he has lost in regards to this framework agreement. Many players saying they felt betrayed, but now that gap seems to be, a little shorter now between Jay Monahan and the PGA Tour membership.
Todd, certainly interesting times. I spoke to a former board member earlier today. He told me that clearly the board is in flux, which is a good thing. Peter Malnati mentioned it in your interview with him, that the players now hold a majority, at least in terms of voting on board matters. What does this board look like now?
Well, actually, the players don't have a majority, Jimmy. They have an equal amount of a voice as the other members of the board. There are 6 players now with the addition of Tiger Woods, and there are 5 independent directors of the PGA Tour. And those are business folks who are great contributors to the game of golf. And there's an additional PGA of America director. So there's 6 and 6. The players will have 6 players on the PGA Tour policy board. And right now, to get anything approved, including this possible deal between the PIF and the PGA Tour, you have to have a 2/3 majority. So that's what it looks like moving forward. But it's going to be a very impactful board meeting. It doesn't matter what it's about, whether it's rolling the ball back or potentially this deal between the Saudis and the PGA Tour. With Tiger Woods in that room, when he speaks, everyone will listen.